In Australia, recently we have seen a very unique form of protest which is called itself March for Australia. And in this March for Australia, you can see that there was a sea of white people who are protesting against the immigration and open door policy in Australia. Particularly the anti-immigration rhetoric, it has targeted the Indian community of Australia. And if we go back a little into history, are the white people the original inhabitants of Australia? Definitely the answer is no. The reason being, Australia as a continent, it has been a robbed continent. It has been a continent of aboriginals who are the original inhabitants of Australia. And the white people during the 16th, 17th and 18th century, in large number, particularly as a penal colony, numerous criminals have out-migrated to Australia from Great Britain. And these white people, now they have a sense of entitlement and they say that Australia should belong to the whites and the other immigrants into the Australian region, they should be sent back, and they are demanding remigration. They are in fact showing excessive elements of xenophobia, that is hatred towards the outsiders. Then over and above that, they are believing in a conspiracy theory which is called as Great Replacement Theory, wherein the white race is going to be replaced by the brown race in the world is the Great Replacement Theory. And believing in all these kind of pseudo-scientific theories, the white Australians are protesting against the Indian immigration. And their main complaint is what they're saying, that because of the Indian immigration, they're losing jobs, they're not finding housing, and along with that, they're being outcompeted in various jobs by Indians. Definitely, when people are educated, skilled, naturally they are going to occupy the higher echelons of the job market, making some Australians unemployed. But the Indian community which has outmigrated to Australia has significantly contributed to the national income of Australia. Then apart from that, the growth of Australia, Indians have worked a lot. And right now, Indians constitute only 3.2% of the total Australian population. And how are a threat to? They a threat to 80% of the white Australians who are present in Australia. This is the question which needs to be taken into consideration. And here, these protests are primarily being organized by neo-Nazi groups. We know that Nazism is an ideology of Hitler, which is based on race hatred. And the same ideology, it has renewed itself across the world. And this neo-Nazi ideology is the root cause for the same. Then over and above this, one more important thing that we need to remember here is the neo-Nazi groups, when they were conducting rallies. So first and foremost, they conducted a rally in Sydney, then in Melbourne. And when they conducted the rally in Melbourne, what they've done is they not only protested against the Indian community, but they also attacked a sacred spot of the original Aboriginal community in Australia, which is called as the Camp Sovereignty. Camp Sovereignty was attacked and it was desecrated and destroyed. This shows that the white Australians have is excessive feeling of entitlement over the Australian continent, and even though they got immensely benefited by looting the continent, they're calling the other immigrants as looters. But there cannot be any territory in which immigration is not possible. And so the Australians calling the other immigrants as outsiders shows their narrow sense of history and narrow sense of purpose. So these kind of things should not be resorted to, and even the federal government of Australia has also opposed it, and the Ministry of External Affairs from India, they are also trying to communicate with their Australian counterparts in order to ensure safety and security of the Indian expatriate community. Thank you.